Good day, Engineer Russell, Robert Matusa. We are proud to have you here in our humble office. So because we are just starting the office last August when Mayor Jolo Halandoni was elected as our new city mayor. And the Office of the Public Information is deeply honored to welcome you here. Seeing you face to face.
Oh.
Because nakita ka na naman sa mga Facebook na, wow, this is another pride for La Carlota, ang Balabon. Your remarkable achievements continually inspired the Mangkasanon community. So as we uphold this year, everything local, everything La Carlota, we consider you as one of the greatest treasures of the city.
Wow.
As excellent human resource, and your dedication, hard work, and success, you have elevated the name of La Carlota or the Mangkasanon on the global stage. Congratulations. It is truly a privilege to hear your story and learn about the journey that led you to where you are today.
Thank you.
Can you have greetings for La Carlota or for the Mangkasanon?
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Rose, for bringing me here or having me here today. So yeah, people from La Carlota, good morning. Thank you so much. Hopefully everything is fine now. Happy Friday. Yeah, and then thank you for inviting me here in our humble city, which brings the pride of the Mangkasanon. So I'm here, I'm very much happy, and then yeah, definitely this is a heartfelt gratitude coming from me, and then it is my honor to be here sitting in front of you. Yeah, so madamo gid nga salamat sa pag-invite sa akong diri.
So you began your professional journey with an industrial training stint at Central Azucarera de La Carlota?
Yes.
Yes, in 2005.
Yes.
How did that early exposure to heavy industry in the Philippines shape your fundamental approach to mechanical engineering?
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful question. So, before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. So, I am Engineer Russell Robert Genovia Matusa. So, I am a mechanical engineer by profession, which I finished my degree in engineering from TUP Visayas. So, I'm a proud TUPV graduate. And then if you're going to see TUPV is like the center of excellence when it comes to engineering, right? So TUPV really molded me a lot to become who I am right now. And then during the time that when I was like doing my supervised industrial training, because in TUP we have like 3 particular SITs, 1, 2, and 3. I spent like 4 months having my SIT here in La Carlota. And then during that particular period, as I recalled, there's like a particular exposure for me that in which it embedded my learnings, the theoretical concepts and everything about in the school that I can able to apply it on a day-to-day basis working as a future engineer. So during that time, it was like a really humble experience for me to embed or to expose myself in the industrial setup. So I able to learn new things. I able to apply the theories that I learned from TUP to the Central Azucarera. And at that time, what I'm thinking about is that really strengthens me, prepared me in becoming the future engineer, not just only in our city, but then preparing me to become the future international engineer. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, as a recipient of Presidential Plaque of Merit in 2022 and the most outstanding alumnus for TUP Visayas 2023, what core values from your alma mater do you still carry with you in your international career today?
That's a very big question. So actually, if I'm gonna recall, those particular awards that I received first is the Presidential Plaque of Merit. I remember that was like 2022. That was like in the midst of not just only pandemic, but then the typhoon Odette. So at that time in Cebu, I was the chairman and president of all mechanical engineers in Region 7, or the chairman of the UCC. So it was like a big responsibility for me, not just only in the society or organization of mechanical engineers, but then as a person, it's because I really witnessed everything there. The devastation of the typhoon Odette during the time was really horrible or tremendous. So at the time, I realized that how lucky I am, it's because I didn't experience it in the first place. And then there's like so poor or very much affected family on during that period. So it was like an intuition for me during that time to provide whatever I have. So the first thing that I did was I communicated straight away to the national office that in which I do have like a better or a good relationship with the PSME National. So, because I don't have resources, right? I'm just only a simple chapter president or the UCC chair in Cebu. So all resources must be coming from Manila. And then we understood that Manila do have like a great resources, not just only in manpower, but then also in materials or everything. So at that period, I tapped them. Communication is a must for me during that time. It's because it was really much on demand. So during that particular period, everything was really moving all throughout. So at that time, I received a response coming from Manila straight away. And then I communicated with the local government unit, especially with the people from the barangays. So they're the one who really assisted me. And then at that time, I always make sure that there's no commotion. It's because for me, safety and security is the must for everything. So we gather everyone, and then we extend help. So for me, the core values that I learned during that time is everything about being responsive. You must have like the grit and the responsibility or the resilience. It's because even though you're very much devastated with regards to the natural calamity, but we Filipinos do have like the grit. We do have like that personality that we can able to bring back. We can able to fight back with whatever circumstances or challenges that we are facing. So at that time, I really think that there's no way for me to become like kaluluoy or like say affected directly, but I need to stand, not just only for myself, but then for the community or for the people. So that is really like the strength that I am very much happy that God given me the opportunity to extend my help towards those people or other families. The second one is everything about the awards that I received from TUP Visayas, the most outstanding alumnus during the time in the field of managerial level. So it was a great pleasure or somehow blessing for me to be recognized for my alma mater. It's because every year we do have like plenty of graduates from TUPV. But at that time, I can really feel that TUPV really gave me like an opportunity to become like an inspiration, not just only for the young people who is like doing engineering after me, but then also to influence leaders, people who are really on power. It's because if you're going to see, when you are on top, you must think that you are there for the purpose. It's not everything about yourself anymore, but you're doing this for the people where you're coming from. So from there, I was always thinking that this is like a responsibility for me to do things, to inspire people, to create change for the betterment. That's not just only for me, for my family, but then this is everything for the people. It's because my base is Philippines, so I am here to show that we Filipinos are a great asset, not just only here in Asia Pacific, but then all around the world. So that's my mission. Yeah. I'm very much blessed as well. It's because I cannot do this alone. I cannot do this alone. So what I'm thinking about is that God always do things. God always do great things. It's because it's so difficult to walk in a given situation or in a given environment, like totally different environment, that you're walking alone. But because of your family, because of your loved ones, because of your friends, because of your colleagues, there's always like a support coming from in or coming from them. So from there, what I'm thinking about is that di ko ni siya kaya if wala akong parents, wala akong relatives, wala akong siblings, wala akong support system. And then I'm very much grateful. It's because, or wala ka mo. I'm very much grateful. It's because you're always there. People are always there. And then this is what we need. This is what we really need. We cannot do anything about it to surpass all those challenges if there's no support system. We need to help each other. So like for example, we can relate from here in La Carlota. If there's only like one person who is working everything, it will not be possible. He's not a Superman. He cannot do it by himself. This is not a one-man show, but this is everything about collaboration. So from there, I can see that the Bayanihan system always brings us up. So from there, you can say that everything could be possible through collaboration or helping each other. So we are very much blessed. I'm very much blessed. It's because we always embody us about the bayanihan system, and then that's what Filipino are. Amuna to na traits. We are very much resilient. We are very warm, and then we are very much strong, no matter what happened. Yeah.
You hold degrees in mechanical engineering, marine engineering, and an MBA. So, basi may para di ba niya titles? How has this diverse educational background allowed you to see problems differently than a specialist in just one field?
So if you're going to say, I do have like a diverse background, not just only limited when it comes to mechanical engineering. I do have like 7 degrees. And then currently I'm doing my doctorate in AI in Australia as an international scholar. And then from there, what I'm always thinking is that it doesn't limit anyone, not just only myself, but anyone just to stick in one particular course or degree. But there's always like in my mindset or in my mind that you need to develop, you need to explore, you need to seek further knowledge. It's because we are not stagnant, we are not stagnated in one particular area. There's like various or different or particular questions or issues or challenges that will arise over time. So if you're very much concentrated when it comes to mechanical engineering only, you become limited.
Yes.
The key point there is limited. But then, if you'll be doing everything, that's only in terms of engineering, but then let us say commerce, medicals, let us say business, you can see different factors, different point of views. So from there, you can establish yourself. You can able to provide different recommendations that can be useful not just only for the local government, but then also for the national. So from there would be like different ideas that you can able to embody or you can able to provide. So for me, it is very much to become much more diverse, much more knowledgeable, rather than picking or choosing in one particular field or area of specialization. So even right now, what I'm thinking about is that we people are really thinking that technology reruns everything, but then there's always limitation. There's always like end point. But knowledge keeps on growing. Technology keeps on improving. Innovations keeps on spiking. So from there, we must be flexible enough to cope with the challenge of the earth or the world. So from there, the main resolution or the main knowledge or answer is continuous learning. So that's why I'm always encouraging young people or young ones to continue driving for regards to continuous development or continue learning. It's because that could really help you. Even from the old people or para sa mga tigulang, it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm already senior citizen, I'm already 60, so this is like only the end point for me. No, it's not. It's because every day there's difference, there's improvement. Before, we're just only listening from radio, but now we can access our phone, right? There's always like innovation, there's always like improvement, sustainability. So we must adapt and then we must equip ourselves. So learning is the key point to achieve your targets.
Okay. So, based on that, can you give us secrets or tips on how you manage that multi-career profession?
Thank you, Mom. What I'm thinking about right now is that the main key point is everything about time management.
Yes.
It's because right now, if you're going to see, I'm working as a facilities manager in Australia, in Sydney, but I'm struggling also with regards to my responsibility as an international student. So I'm doing my work as an FM, I'm also doing my doctorate or my research. So for me, it's more about like allocating jobs in a particular area or demands. So ang ako na ginabuhat, kung inilonggo pa, is that I always put emphasis with the calendaring method. Calendaring. So ang calendaring method for me is that I must assess or evaluate which comes first. If this particular task requires me to action it straight away, like say between life and death, so I'll gonna tag it as like color red. So from there, I can able to grasp or imagine that this really needs immediate attention. So I need to work this out. The deadline or the due date for this is like 1 day or like say 2 days. So I need to walk 10 steps ahead just for me to survive. And then the second one will, let us say, yellow or green as the least. So I always put like guidelines or like a color coding or like a calendaring for me to know everything. And then from there, before I end my day, I always reflect. Always reflect in the sense that I always give thanks to God that He's always giving me strength to cope with everything. It's because we cannot do it alone. We cannot do it by ourselves. We're just only human beings. So we always bring back everything to Him. It's because He's the great author of our life. But then I always put it in my mind that I always have the responsibility to provide. So from there, makita na ko na need ko gini siya tapuson. So I always make sure na matapos ko siya before the deadline. It's because for me, this is very much important. And then I don't like na when I said na I'm gonna submit this one but then hindi ko siya matapos, it's because nakulang ko sa time. I don't like that one. I always make sure na before I commit, I'm able to do it. It's because it's so frustrating for the person who is requesting for you to do it, but then eventually you cannot make it. So I don't like it that as well, or either. So hindi ko na namian sa muna. So the bottom line there, or the core values there, is everything about the discipline. So if you're disciplined enough, you know what you're doing, then you're responsible kung anong imo dapat tapuson or ano dapat nimo himuon. And then you always make sure that makita sa imo mga subordinates, makita sa imo mga colleagues that you're doing okay, and then you can become a role model for everyone.
You supervised over 150 staff and directed operations across the Visayas and Mindanao. What is your philosophy for leading large technical teams in high-pressure environments?
So, if you're going to say I started working as a manager when I was like, I think 25. So, I took my board exam when I was like near early 20s, and then after that, there's like a massive responsibility for me. But I always put it in my mind that people do have like different characteristics, people do have like different traits, people do have like different backgrounds, different behavior. So from there, I always say that it's me to adjust in a good way or in a good manner. It's because for me, I always tolerate if it's tolerable, but I always put limits if it's not acceptable for me, especially when it comes to work and standards. I always put the KPIs, or I always put my expectation, and they're gonna tell me also what is your expectation coming from me. It's because I'm very much supportive manager. So from there, handling 150 people is quite challenging, especially when you're young blood, right?
Yes.
Especially that, like, for example, your subordinate are like, say, 50 years old, 60 years old, 45 years old, different culture, different background, Bisaya, Ilonggo, Tagalog, English. So from there, you must be flexible enough to cope with them. So, paano ko siya? Anong secret dira? You must discuss to them about your expectation from your team. You must inform them or create like a path for them na matsindihan nila kung anong gusto mo matabo. So before we start our job or our activity, it must be clear for everyone that this is our target. Example, we need to finish the project in 3 months period. And then during the time, before ta mag-start, I'll gonna assign particular task for you which really relate on your strength. It's because I wanted to get the best output coming from the best person. If you do have like questions, you are free to ask me anytime. You can ring me, you can call me, you can text me, you can approach me. I'm always here. If you don't know, if you don't understand about it, just let me know. I can provide you assistance. But just be honest. If you don't know how to do it, just let me know, so that I can able to prepare. I always make sure that I do have like the risk management because I don't want to end up failure. So amo na akong gusto. So gina-clear ko sa ila, this is my target and then these are my expectation, so that it will be transparent for the both of us. So from there, we can able to eliminate issues, we can able to eliminate failures, and then we can able to hit our targets. And the good thing about me is that I always encourage them through reward system. So what does it mean? So example, if I'm gonna give you a task and then you're able to comply it within a particular time without hitting the deadline or the due date, then I'm gonna treat you. Not just only you, but then also the people who is working hard. So from there, maganahan ang mga tao mag-work. From there, ma-inspire mo mga tao nga approachable ka. From there, makita sa mga tao nga reachable ka. Kay sometimes, ang mindset sa mga tao who are working from the grassroots level is that, oh, hindi ta magkato kay Sir Russell, it's because mahadlok ta, it's because he's so strict. Hindi ta magkato kay Sir Russell, it's because he's an approachable kind of person. He's always busy working or talking with the stakeholders, with the people, but then he doesn't have time for us. So what I'm always doing is that I always leverage myself towards others in a way that makita nila na ara lang gid ko. Amo na, if in case na free ko, I don't have meetings or I don't have any other engagement, I always sit with them. I always kulit or ginadugsing ko sila in a way nga, uy, kamusta ka na? Ano na diri natabo? Ano na ni siya? Sadihin ka na, uy, kamusta naman ni siya? So, I always make joke with the people so that it will be warm for everyone. Kaya hindi ko gusto nga, they're like robots na like, they don't know what to do. And then kung ano ko, ay, magtago-tago sila. So, kung amo ka na nga leader, na makita nila nga mahadlok sila sa imo, di na sila maging productive. Kaya nga, there's always like, kumbaga, afraid or hindrance for them to speak kung ano ilang ang mga ideas. It's because for me, I'm always thinking that wala ko yata balaan tanan-tanan. Normal lang ko yung nga tao. Ang ako niya is that I always find ways na maka-create ko sustainable solution for everyone, which could be like a win-win situation between us. Happy ka, happy ko, happy tanan. Kay takaan ko sang gamo, natakaan ko sang karikot. Gusto ko planchado tanan kag wala issue. So amo na nga gusto ko warm sila kay para ma-feel nila nga love, supported sila kay kapigado diri sa Pilipinas, especially pagkadto mo sa obrahan, mamumblema kapag isa mo nga boss, kay ang boss nimo terror. Hindi ko na gusto sa amo nang environment. Gusto ko family oriented. In a way, you tell me about your problem and then I'll gonna give kung ano kung kaya na. Because at the end of the day, gapulit ako sa amon. I always reach out for my family and then I can relate on you because you also have your own family.
You're now a facilities manager for GLL, Australia. Having massive portfolios for clients like Telstra and BlackRock. What were the biggest challenges and opportunities in transitioning your engineering expertise to the Australian market?
So from there, when I came to Australia like 4 years ago, I was really assessing or like evaluating myself, how can I able to fit in myself in a box that is quite different from where I came from. So that's always my question during that time. Am I ready for the international challenge for me? Or I'll gonna settle in my comfort zone? But then, I always reflect, I always ask God, God, what do you want for me? What do you want me to do? I always ask Him, where do you want me to go? Where do you lead me? And then, anong mission ko? Amo na ba ko? So at that time, I was really thinking that, can I make it? Especially that ang competition there is very different. It's very demanding, especially that I came from a third world country, the Philippines. Kung nataw nimo, dito sa Pilipinas, we're just only concentrated inside the Philippines, but we don't know what's happening outside. Probably we know some things, but not everything. So from there, when you're working outside the Philippines, you're looking in a big picture, not just only in Asia Pacific, but all around the world. It's because the operation's really massive and then it really connects with the different areas or countries. So from there, I only trust not just about myself, but I trust Him. Wala ko nagsalig sa akong kaugalingon niya. It's because I'm always thinking that I'm helpless. But I'm always reaching out to Him every day, especially that I don't have family there in Australia. So from there, ang ako lang good is that mag-communicate ko sa akong family for the purpose that I can vent out. I can pautwas. But definitely, behind my mind is that I'm thinking that, Lord, you're the one who is doing this for me. You're the one who will be resolving this together with me. This is like a partnership between the two of us. And then I know that you'll be using me as an instrument for everyone, not just only for my fellow Filipino, but then also for other nations or other nationality. So medyo hadlok ko, but then eventually, wala ko yung mahadlok sa mga challenge. Kaya kabalo ko, may ginoo ko. So at that time, kabalo ko na, nagkato ko dito, it's because I have my purpose, I have my mission. So at that time, wala ko ganun nag-expect, Ma'am Rose, that in which I'll be receiving national awards. It's because for me, I'm just only doing my job. I really wanted to become the expert of my field. It's because I wanted to create solution It's because right now, if you're going to say in the engineering world, there's like plenty of challenges or issues that we're encountering on a day-to-day basis. But then, I'm always thinking that, how can I able to resolve this? I'm the first person who is being affected. So from there, I really need to find ways or a solution for me to resolve the issues that I'm encountering every day. So that's why I was really pushed through to study further when it comes to improvement, which is the AI in relation to the engineering application. So from there, my mind is really thinking that I really need to do this, and then I do have like a deadline to do this. So nagamba ko na, I cannot do this alone. It's because I do have like a lot of responsibilities, but then I always trust Him. Kung hindi ko na kaya, mamba ko, Lord, hindi ko na ni siya kaya, Lord, ang amuni, wala na ko knowledge to do this. Just give me miracle. And then every day, ginatagaan niyo ko simple miracle. And then wala ko may na-remember nga wala yagin answer na ko nga questions or nga ginpangayo ko sa iya. Kaya ako honest ko, kung hindi ko kaya, I'm gonna tell you that I cannot do it. So he always answer and then he never say no. It's because I think I always rooted to where I came from. So as a Filipino, our culture is very much, our faith is embedded, or our culture is embedded with our faith. So, if you're going to see, biskan, ano kabudlay, ano kapigado, kabalugit tayong kapigado git sa Pilipinas, ha? Pero tungod may Ginoo ta ba, mas-surpass na itong tanan-tanan niya. Sa una na dumduman ko, nag-eskwela ko sa TUP, 150 pesos lang ako nga allowance. 200 kung may kwarta. Pero, wala gid ko ni Lord gimbayaan. Kabudlay kayo, kabalo ng mga taga-TUP, kabudlay kaayo sang pag-eskwela nga in which grabe ng challenge nimo sa eskwelahan, wala ka pa kwarta, kapoy ka pa, wala ka pa tinulugan, kida mo katulunan, kay kami sa TUP, everyday amo niya nga quiz, and then that's 70% of our grades, and then 30% falls in our exam. Pero you need to be resilient. So, amo na blagi nang babala ni mama sa confirm no guts, no glory. And then I always look back kung ano ang mga learnings na gin-embed sa akong parents sa akon. Especially, I'm the eldest among us sa akon. I do have like 3 siblings as well. And then, I wanted to become like a role model for them. Not just only for my siblings, but then also for my cousins na, kaya nga, hambal ko, wala ko iban nga mapalapitan kung sa ulihi, mamumblema ko. Ang first person or the first people who will be assisting me will always be my family. And then I always rooted from the culture of a Filipino that kita, family person kita ya. And then kita, biskan ano kakapoy sa aton, mabaka-baka kita para sa pamilya ta. Amo na siya nga culture naton nga proud gid ko kayo in the international stage. It's because we Filipinos are very much rooted with the family, with our family. And then muna siya ang gahatag sa aton strength to move forward, to fight back. So dra ko kumbaga nagbalik. Kay kami, hindi kami fully Filipino. It's because my ancestors are also Japanese, and then Japanese are very much hardworking. But then culturally, makita nimo nga diverse. So, dako man siya nga impact sa akon. I learned different things from different culture that in which I'm using on a day-to-day basis on how I can able to achieve my targets or goals in life. Yeah.
Can you share a specific example of how you've implemented sustainable initiatives in a major commercial building?
Yeah. So right now, if you're going to say in an international stage or international market, there's like plenty. That is more about like the technicalities right now. So if you're going to say there, in the international requirements, there's like massive compliances. Not just only when it comes to private stakeholders, but then also it includes the government requirements. And then especially right now that there's like more demands, more things to comply, like for example when it comes to environmental and sustainability, so you must be compliant about it. And then at the same time you need to comply also with regards to ESG, to environmental, all those stuff. So what I'm doing is that I always make sure that I know everything about the policy. It's because if you don't know about the policy, you're clueless. So from there, my Bible is everything about the international policy, like for example in Australia. So we do have like international policy when it comes to buildings, when it comes to electrical, MEPFS. So I always make sure that I am compliant, especially when it comes to safety. So I'm a kind of person that I always evaluate all throughout before making a decision, and then I always make sure that all my contractors or all my people are also compliant. It's because I don't want to be penalized. At the end of the day, you must consider that these things are very much necessary, especially the swims. I always make sure that the requirements are being handled, are being answered, or are being provided, not just only me but then also my third-party contractors. So from there, I always make sure that I'm always within my scope. So if I do have like a further questions, or if I do have like further inquiries, I always make sure that I leverage it to the people who is higher than me or my higher ups, just to make sure that I'm doing correct. Kay kita, di man ta perfect. So every now and then, like in our case, may mga changes siya. So may mga areas that in which like for example in safety factors, so ibutang mo kita na tanan ang swims, you must include all those risk na potentially mag-arise during the operation, especially when it comes to preventive maintenance, the annual preventive maintenance. So you must stick only with the standards. Because I'm thinking that when you stick with the standards, you're safe. And then from there, you must make sure that the people who are working with you are also being monitored. It's because sometimes if you're complacent with everything, that you're thinking that, oh, everything is fine, I already informed them. But then from their part, what if may lapses sila? So still it will fire back sa imo. So for me, I really make sure that communication is kumbaga fluent, kumbaga aligned. So communicate ko sila, they need to update me on a day-to-day basis. And then I'm very much strict when it comes to submitan sa mga end result or output. If it is not acceptable, then I'm gonna call them, and then they're gonna change it, they're gonna improve it, because I'm not gonna accept it. So it is clear for everyone. Yeah.
You're currently a doctoral candidate in generative AI at Torrance University. Most people see AI as software field. How is it specifically revolutionizing hard engineering and facilities management?
Very good question. So if you're going to see right now, even though there's like a development when it comes to engineering, but then we're still tapping when it comes to application of manual application for engineering. So from there, as the day goes by or as the years goes by our progress, Gen AI is like touching base with everything, not just only in engineering, but in all sort of fields, in medical, in space, in commerce, and everything. So because of the Gen AI demand, it makes everything easier. So may mga pros and cons siya. There's like advantages and disadvantages of using the AI. But then, it boils down or it matters upon the user. It's because you're the one who is responsible about like using the technology. So, dila na siya ma-fall nga kung latahon ni mo ha, ilungguhon na kon siya para matsindihan gid siya sa tanan. Ang Gen AI, isa siya ka tool na para mahimo ang bagay easier, dali, convenient, kag sustainable. So meaning, sang una, kung magkanda ka audit sa engineering, it will take for you to finish everything in 3 months, let us say. Hypothetically, 3 months or 6 months. But because of the technology, the tendency is, ma-shorten niya ang length or ang period na makita nimo ang end result or the status or condition of your asset. So from there, kung nataon nimo, advantage siya for the technical people, right? It's because they already got the tool. Plus factor dira is that ang Gen AI or ang tool is not just only providing you the current status or condition of the asset, but then it provides you recommendation. So meaning, may mga particular points siya nga ihatag sa mo na amo ni mo buhaton, amo ni siya mga items or mga factors si mga pangbuhaton na maka-help sa imo on your day-to-day operations. So, hindi ka na mamroblema, hindi ka na magbasa pa dito. It's because naka-grounded siya sa mga literatures nga lain-lain nga mga makuha. So from there, for me, dakugi siya kayo yung impact, dakugi siya kayo yung nga advantage sa mga tao when using AI. But there's always like a challenge or like a loophole with everything, right? It's not about like only the advantages. But the main impact there is that where ang main impact niya is everything about the people. Kaya nga, we don't need people resource later on. AI can do everything. So like for example, imubra kaya na ni AI, iaubra kaya na ni AI, i-program ko na lang siya tanan si AI na tanan mabuhat. So nung matabo, wala na akong ubra. So from there, ang social impact niya is massive. So, dira na siya ma-fall ang ethical issue or ethical implications or impact. So, amo na siya nga akong gina-highlight sa akong research or sa akong na paper that kung natahon nimo, hindi pa siya totally equipped, hindi pa gid siya totally ready na ma-answer niya tanan, need mo siya equalitative further or qualitative verify nga ina siya, applicable siya, and then at the same time, ina siya, maga-create gid siya, kumbaga, advantages and not just only impacted dito sa ethical issues. So, amo na siya dapat ang iya nga lantahon or i-assess or i-evaluate sang government. It's because when it comes to ethical part, when it comes to social impact, ang ara na dira nga biggest factor will be the government. It's because they are the leader. They're the one who is creating policy. They're the one who is creating rules. So from there, they must put emphasis when it comes to the ethical impacts and social impact for the people. It's because we're also protecting the work or the job, the people who is working in the corporate, right? So, amo na siyang dakogid nga factor nga dapat lantahon, not just only when it comes to advantages, but then also the negative or the loophole. So, ang answer na dira or ang resolution na dira nga ma-recommend ko is that hindi nila pagtanggalon ang mga tao, but then they need to use the manpower when it comes to a certain specialization, because every people do have like its specialties. Like for example, arts, kaya ba ni AI mag-draft or mag-create sang nami kaayo gid nga, let's say painting or something, accurate siya? No, it's because skills is embedded with the person, with the people. So may mga factors siya, or may mga limitations siya, or may mga considerations siya nga dapat lantahon. So amo na siya dapat ang tagaan-emphasis gid sa government. How are you going to derive those things that in which applicable ba siya or non-applicable, or ini siya mag-impact ba siya sa manpower or ini siya hindi. So they need to weigh in which is which and then which is better. So, hindi na siya muna kadali kayo for the government. They need further studies. They need to collaborate with other countries who are also engaging with AI. That's it.
Your recent research explores AI-enabled digital twin frameworks. For those unfamiliar, how does having a digital twin of a building change the way we handle predictive maintenance?
Actually, the digital twin is one of the applications that embeds with the Gen AI. So from there, if you're gonna ask me, what is a digital twin? Amo gina siyang first gina question. So a digital twin is a tool that in which you can able to use to reflect what is the current status or condition of the asset. So, kumbaga, like for example, si City Hall. So, asset siya or isa siya ka-building. So, with my digital twin, nga software or nga system, makita na kon ang condition niya. So, digital na siya tanan. Kumbaga, ay na siya sa dashboard ko. So, through technology, I can able to see when it comes to electrical, mechanical, plumbing, safety, all those factors, even the sensors. So, dako gid siya kayo yung factor when it comes sa pag-apply nimo sa pag-develop nimo sa effective nga preventive maintenance program. So, the digital twin can able to help me na para kung magkanda ko sa akong nga audit, hindi na ko mag-take siyam or 1 year na makomplete ko. I'll just install massive sensors, and then from there, my digital twin can able to get data coming from that sensors which is being embedded from that asset, and then it will be fed in my dashboard. So from there, I can run all the systems coming from that baseline data that I got it from the asset through BMS, BIMs, all the building management system, all those peripherals that I can use na para ma-run ko siyang system. So, right now, if you're going to see, ang digital twin, hindi pa gid siya totally nga ginagamit. Or I think wala pa na siya ginagamit diri, especially in the third world country. But in the first world country, like in Australia, in the US, they are starting exploring, they are starting using it, but not totally 100%. It's because may mga areas pa siya na underdeveloped, that needs to be refined, that needs to be fine-tuned. So from there, right now, based on the literature, currently we're having like the Gen AI, but on the next, let us say 2030, we're going to have like the Super AI. And then based on the literature as well, ang AI ang pinaka-last ni siya nga invention or developments ng human being. And then after that, it will be under AI na. So amuna siyang pinaka-hadlukan, pero happy or masadyaon, it's because convenient ng tanan, pero may mga negative impact man siya. So amo na siya dapat ang i-refine sa government. So dapat tagaan gina nila close emphasis or like bigger emphasis when it comes sa ownership. Kaya nga kung hindi na siya kapabayaan na siya, later on it will create chaos.
You published research on regression, correlation, and time series. Okay. How are these mathematical models helping you predict equipment failure before it actually happens?
When I was studying my master's in environmental studies in UP Cebu, so I created that particular studies or that particular paper that in which correlation, time series, and regression. So ina siya, that is not only intended when it comes to engineering application, but that particular paper that I created was more focused sa hospital setup. During the time, I remember I was working as the hospital administrator in Cebu Doctors, and then from there, I noticed that there are certain areas sa hemodialysis na hindi siya na kon ma-comprehend or hindi siya na kon ma-utilize or ma-maximize ang resources, but in which I have the equipment or I have the machineries, but then it's not enough to cope with the demand. So from there, I was thinking that potentially I can able to create like a study that in which I can resolve my issues in my workplace. That is really like the challenge for me, or like the thing for me na kinanglan ko siya i-resolve. That is why I'm always creating like a paper which relatable sa akong day-to-day. It's because I experience issues or challenges. So from there, through mathematical equations or methods na kon, I found out that I need to come up a particular quantity that can able to answer or resolve the demand or the question nga kinanglan sa mga tao sa Cebu. So from there, na-equate ko siya na, these are the quantities that I need na equipments to cater the demands. It's because right now we are having like unlimited equipments, and then those particular equipments cannot cater everyone. So ang time na kon nga ma-cater ko sa sila tanan will be like doubled or tripled with the maximum capacity sa akong nga equipment. So kung nataw nimo, kung i-harness mo 100% imo equipment, so affected imo equipment. So the tendency is ang imo equipment ma-harness mo siya, maguba siya dali. It's because grabe na siya kausado. And then ang wear and tear niya definitely affected man siya. So later on, magubang equipment, the more pagid ka mamroblema. So that's why I created that one to resolve the issue.
In 2026, you were named one of the 10 global Filipino icons.
Okay.
Asia's influential leader in AI-driven engineering. What does it mean to you to represent the Filipino engineering community on the world stage?
So for me, the first thing that comes up in my mind is everything about responsibilities. So I'm a responsible person. It's because I'm not just only carrying myself as a Filipino engineer or as a Filipino talent, but then I'm also representing my community. So from there, I'm representing the Filipino, I'm representing the engineering factors or the engineering field people. So it is a great responsibility for me to leverage it in the international domain. So from there, it is a great must for me to be equipped and then to speak in behalf of the people. So I'm carrying the Filipino, I'm carrying my flag. So from there, it is an honor for me. Yeah.
Yes. For mentorship aspect, having been a university lecturer, what advice do you have for the next generation of Mangkasanon engineers who want to follow in your footsteps.
Oh, thank you so much. So, as I recall, I was a teacher before. I used to teach in the University of Cebu for 3 years after I passed my board exam. And then I do have like a passion also when it comes to teaching. It's because I always love studying. So, muna siya ang naka-trigger sa akin or naka-encourage sa akin. So, sa mga mangkasanon ng mga engineers or gaskwela pa engineering, ang mahaba ko sa inyo is that don't give up on your dreams. It's because ang ina siya nga dream nimo, amo na siya maka-refuel sa imo or maka-drive sa imo to reach your apex. So, meaning, on a day-to-day basis, inspired ka mag-eskwela, inspired ka to do whatever nga nanamian nimo, ani mo na love. And then, always put yourself in a situation na I'm doing this not just only for myself, kinamian ko ni, but then I'm doing this para sa akong family. It's because you always instill in your mind that this is everything about responsibility. Kaya sometimes ba, malipat ba, kaya like nalingaw lang tambalon ta na, ay ini siya, gusto ko lang niya, trip-trip ko lang niya, kinamian ko. But then, it pays you a lot. So ano na diray mo nga i-sacrifice? Number 1, gid mo time. Number 2, imo resources. Number 3, expectations imo family. So dapat responsible ka when it comes to decision making. Dapat magpinsar ka long term. Hindi ka magpinsar nga myopic. Myopic means you're just only thinking right now. I'm happy, trip ko amuni. Okay, hindi na muna ya. Kaya nga ang muna sa lodlaw nga tanan, gagayus ka sang resources, oras nimo, kwarta nimo, ang imo pamilya, do mo na balahaw, hindi lang ikaw yaga solo, but din may pamilya ka. So dapat siguro doon nimo nga ini ba, align ba ni siya sa budget, align ba ni siya sa tanan sa time, align ba ni siya sa gusto ko. Dapat practical kita kay nga mahal nga daan sa tanan-tanan subong. Wala ta sa fairy tale, rito sa tudtuon nga pangabuhi. So dapat kita practical kita. And then later on, once matsindihan mo gid kung anong purpose nimo diri sa kalibutan, dra mo na makita nga, oh, I'm doing this not just for myself, but then for the people or sa imo nga pamilya. And then later on, maka-inspire ka na sa iban nga family, sa imo community. So, amo na siya, like, dedication, kag tapos practicality, and then love nimo sa imo family. It's because it boils down sa imo family gyapon. So, makonect mo man siya gyapon sa imo na faith. It's because kung ikaw Kristiyanon ka, or may Ginoo ka, selfless ka. Amo na siya. So, you're doing this not just for yourself. You're selfless. You're doing this for everyone. And then makita mo nga malipayon sila, malipayon ka man. Amo na. And then dako gid naman nga pasalamat gid sa inyo, parents, mother, father, kay nga gina-guide niyo gid. Kagkabalugid ko nga wala gid ang ginikanan lain nga tuyo sila mga bata, but then to see them excel, progress, and then to become successful. Kaya muna siya ang kumbaga ang heart and soul kag treasure sa parents mo mga bata. So for you, kung makita mo yung mga ginikanan nga malipayon, dako naman na siya nga kalipay sa imong mga tagipusoon. So ikaw kung ikaw bata gusto mo gahibi imo mama, gahibi imo papa, kay gapaugtas ka, syempre hindi, di ba? Sakit man sa imo. So muna dapat kita mindful ta ba? Let's be mindful about what we are doing. It's because it is not just only impacting us, but then it impacts everyone that surrounds us. Yeah.
With your doctorate ongoing and your role at GLL expanding, what is the next frontier you're looking to conquer in the intersection of AI and the built environment?
Thank you so much. So if you're looking to see right now, I'm doing my doctorate. What I'm thinking about, if God will be very much loving kung yatag niya sa akon. So my plan is after I finish my doctorate, so I'll be doing my postdoctorate studies. So I'm planning to do my postdoctorate in Oxford, so in which I'm aligning myself to do further research when it comes to Gen AI and DTT. I really wanted to create a solution when it comes to engineering application. It's because, as you all know, there's like massive assets, massive properties, buildings, everything. Not just only high-rise building, but then horizontal, commercials, residential, everything. So the DTT or the AI is not just only limited when it comes to engineering, but then I wanted to create solution. That's the only objective or thing for me. I wanted to create change that in which we can able to provide sustainability, we can able to provide resiliency, and then we can able to provide good things na para maging accessible and convenient for everyone. It's because we are doing research to provide sufficiency for the people para mayara ta kumbaga ang tanan bala mahimo naton nga easy, convenient for everyone. Kaya amo na siya maka-save sa aton resources, maka-save sa aton manpower, and then from there, sustainability arises. Yeah.
So, Engineer, thank you for sharing your time, wisdom, and inspiration with the Mangkasanon community. So, the Public Information Office team would like to hear a good report on that succeeding journey from you. We look forward to another great interview with you sa another journey mo in the engineering world.